distance and displacement, and we discussed the which are the units and some differences also we discussed. And today we will discuss about scalar quantities and vector quantities. Scalar quantity and vector quantity. Scalar quantity and vector quantity. Sometimes it is necessary to tell about the magnitude and the direction. For example, sometimes it is not necessary to tell about the direction, only magnitude is enough. If someone will ask what is your mass, you can say 50 kg, 20 kg, depending on that, 50 kg, 40 kg, 35 kg, whatever it is. So it will be known. So whether will you say whether if I am turning to eastward direction, my mass is 40 kg. When I turn to west direction, my mass is 25 kg. When I turn to south direction, my mass is 30 kg. Whether is there any variation in your mass? It will remain same in whichever direction you are. No? So we can say that those type of quantities which requires only magnitude and no direction are known as scalar quantity. So scalar quantity means quantity which requires only magnitude. Which requires only magnitude. Quantities which requires only magnitude and no direction. Magnitude is enough, no need to tell about the direction. For example, I told you mass. So your mass will remain same wherever you are. It will be whatever it is. For example, if it is 45 kg, if you are moving eastward direction, west direction, north direction, south direction, in whichever direction you move, your mass will remain same. Such type of quantity, physical quantities which requires only magnitude are known as scalar quantity. So example, mass. And another example of scalar quantity is distance. It is the path length covered. If you can move in any direction, not a matter, because when you are telling about the distance, it is the path length covered. No need of worrying about what is the initial position and what is the final position. You have to measure the length of the path that covered by you. That will correspond to distance. Some more quantities are there that we will discuss in the coming chapters. So is it clear? So what is meant by the scalar quantity? Now we will go to vector quantity. Now you can define vector quantity very easily. How to define a quantity which requires both magnitude and direction. Quantity which requires both magnitude and direction. Why this direction is important for this quantity? We will see. You are considering an object here. If you are applying a force in this direction, and if the force is sufficient to move that object, we can say that this object will be displaced. After some time it will reach some position. No? Isn't it? But if the same force, here we are applying force in this direction. If the same force is applied like this, in this direction, what happens? So instead of applying like this, if we are applying the force in this direction, so what happens? Now the object will move in this direction. And if you are applying the force from upside, so the same magnitude of force we are applying, same value of force we are giving, but depending on from which direction you are applying the force, the nature of the motion of that object is different. So in this case, not only the magnitude, not only the numerical value of the force is important, but in which direction it is applied, that is also important. Such type of quantities are known as vector quantity. And here magnitude means it is the numerical value. Numerical value of the quantity is known as the magnitude. If you are telling your mass 50 kg, that 50 is the magnitude of your mass. Okay, is it clear? All of you understood? No. So here in vector quantity, not only the magnitude, not only the numerical magnitude, both numerical value and direction, such type of quantities are known as vector quantities. Example already we discussed, it is force, and another example is displacement. Why? Because when you are telling about displacement, already we discussed in the last class, it is the final position minus initial position. So it is very much important in which direction that object is moved. Accordingly, the displacement of the object will be different. No. For example, an object is at this position. Oh. If I am telling that it is displaced 1 meter, it can be displaced in any direction. It can be in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, in all direction it is equally possible. So if in that case you have to clearly specify whether it is 1 meter east direction, 1 meter west direction, or 1 meter north or south. That's why these type of quantities require not only the numerical value of the quantity but also its direction. Such type of quantities are known as vector quantities. So all of you understood clearly the difference between scalar quantity and vector quantity. So scalar quantity requires only the numerical value, or we can say only the magnitude, no need of direction. Example, mass, length, density and so on, that we will discuss in the coming chapters. Okay. And the vector quantity, those quantities which requires both magnitude and direction. Example, force, displacement and so on. Is it clear? So one more difference now you got the between distance and displacement. So here we can say that distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector. Okay. So some more differences already we discussed in the previous class. So one more difference you can add to that. Distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. Okay. And now we will discuss about some problems about distance and displacement. Find the distance and displacement find the distance and displacement. Okay. So first example, first question we can say an object is traveling 3 meters. Then it is traveling 4 meters. So it's starting from O and finally it reaches the position A. You have to find what is the distance and displacement in this case. So object is traveling from O to B, then it reaches, moving from B to A, finally it reaches position A. Okay. So distance, very easily you can find distance is the actual path length covered. So we can write distance is equal to, what is distance? Path length. Here it is traveling distance of 3 meter and here it is traveling a distance of 4 meter. So distance we can write it as 3 meter plus 4 meter, which is equal to 7. It is the distance. No. Now what is the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance. So you have to draw a straight line connecting the initial and final position, and that shortest distance will be the displacement. So if you draw a straight line, what you will get? How can you find? So you can see that OA is the shortest distance. No? So we can write displacement is equal to OA. And how to find OA? Yes, by using Pythagoras theorem we can find OA is equal to, we can write OA square is equal to OB square plus BA square. OB square is 3 square plus 4 square, which is equal to 16. 9 plus 16, which is equal to 25. So OA square is 25. So OA is equal to root 25, which is equal to 5 meters. Okay. So this Even though that object is chosen a path OBA, the displacement is given by 5 meter because that is the shortest distance between those 2 points. Distance will be the actual path traveled. So here it is traveling through this path. So distance is 7 meter and displacement is 5 meter. Is it clear? Okay. Now we will discuss another example. Same question, find the distance and displacement. Here the object is traveling through the circumference of the circle. Okay. An object is traveling through the C is the center. An object is starting from this position A. So when it reaches the it is traveling in anti-clockwise direction. So an object is traveling in anti-clockwise direction through a circular path. So different cases we can see. So first case we will see when it reaches B. When the object is reaching B, what is the distance and displacement? So object is starting from A and it is traveling through anti-clockwise direction through the circumference of the circle, and let R be the radius of the circle, and you have to find the distance and displacement of the particle. It started from A, now it reaches B. What is the distance and displacement? So how to find distance? Distance will be total path length. Now what is the total circumference? You can write circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Now circumference of the circle is given by 2 pi r and 1/4 of 2 pi r is AB. No. So distance is equal to, distance can be written as 1/4 of 2 pi r. It is equal to pi r by. Is it clear? Because this is this. You can see up to here it is traveling. So this is this AB, this circumference, 1/4 of the circumference will be there, that will be equal to pi r. Now how to find the displacement? Displacement is the shortest distance. Now you have to draw a straight line connecting A and B. You have to draw a straight line connecting A and B, that is the distance. No. So that is the displacement. So to find displacement is equal to AB. And how to find this length AB? That you can find it as CA square, which is equal to root of CA square plus CB square. But again by using Pythagoras theorem, CA square plus CB square is equal to AB square. And what is CA? CA and CB both are R, so you can write R square plus R square. So this displacement is equal to root of 2R square, or you can write it as root 2 into R. Is it clear? Root 2 into R, it is the displacement, but distance is given by pi r. Okay? Is it clear? Now same question we will discuss. When it reaches, it is starting from A and it reaches the point D. Starting from A. It is starting from A and now it reaches the position D. So in this case, what is the distance and displacement? So how to find distance? Same way, distance is equal to the actual path length. So what is the actual path length? It is given by half of the circumference. No, distance is equal to 2 pi r divided divided by 2. 2 pi r is the total path length divided by 2, which is equal to pi r. That is the distance. Now to find displacement, that is meant by displacement, it is the shortest distance, no? So how to find the displacement? The initial position is A, final position is B, so you have to join a straight line between them. Now can you tell me what is the displacement? So displacement is equal to diameter of the circle, so we can write displacement is equal to diameter of the circle, which is equal to 2r. Okay, is it clear? Now the next case we can consider, it is starting from A and it reaches the position B. So it reaches the position B. Okay. Now next case we are considering starting from A only. Now it reaches the position E. Started from A, it reaches the position E. In this case, what is the distance and displacement? So distance you can find pi r plus pi r by 2. No, distance is equal to up to here pi r and again pi r by 2. So you will get it as 3 by 2 is the distance. And to find the displacement is the shortest distance. Again you have to join between A is the initial position, now B is the final position, you have to join. So you can find displacement again by using Pythagoras theorem. Displacement is equal to root of r square plus r square. Again it has root 2e. So when it reaches the position B and when it reaches the position E, you can see that displacements are same but distances are different. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Now the last case, when it comes back to A, it's starting from A and when it comes back to A, it's starting from A and finally it reaches A. So in that case, what happens? When it comes back to A, distance will be the circumference. No? Distance is the actual path length. So distance is equal to 2 pi r. One circumference, it is traveling through one circular path, so that will be equal to the circumference of the circle will be the path length. So distance will be 2 pi r. And what's the displacement? Displacement is equal to initial position and final position, both are same. It started from A and finally it reaches to A. So displacement will be 0. Is it clear? All of you understood? No? Okay. Now one more problem we will discuss. Find the distance and displacement. Starting from origin, this is 550 meter. Is 100 meter, 150. Okay. So an object is starting from origin and it is going to C and then come back to B. Okay. An object starts from origin, moves to C and then comes back to B. Find the distance and displacement. Okay. So what is the distance? It is moving to C. So distance will be 150 meter and then come back to C. So total distance we can write it as O to C. The distance is 150 meter. Again C to B. Again it is 50 meter. So distance is equal to distance when it travels from O to C and then back to B. Distance is given by 150 plus 50, which is equal to 200 meters. Distance is 200 meters. Now what is the displacement?